Law enforcement arrested the Club Q suspect more than a year before lives changed in Colorado Springs. The case was dropped in July because the district attorney says they couldn't get the suspect's grandparents to testify.
Colorado doesn't have jurisdiction in Florida or in really any other state to just go and serve a subpoena.
Ann England is a law professor at CU. She isn't surprised prosecutors struggled since the grandparents moved out of state. When they couldn't be called to testify, the case was dismissed.
Because the majority of the case happened and the people who were threatened were the grandparents, the only way that those statements that were made could come in at their trial was through the grandparents directly.
Investigators say they found guns and 100 pounds of bomb-making materials after the suspect's arrest in 2021. But months later, the grandparents told the court the suspect is a sweet young man and they would take advantage of a second chance.
Even if the grandparents, the family members weren't cooperating, why did they not try to bring additional charges, different charges that did not need any cooperation from the grandparents?
At DU, criminal law professor Ian Farrell wonders if the DA could have tried something else to at least get the suspect on something.
There were certainly grounds for charging him with obstruction of justice and interfering with the police in the lawful exchange of their duties.
The felony charges were dismissed in July. Less than 6 months later, the DA's office filed 305 counts against the same person for the Club Q shooting. Now, a spokesperson for the district attorney's office told the Associated Press prosecutors filed charges based on the evidence they had and what they ethically believed they could prove in court. And England says proving the suspect owned the bomb-making materials could have been really challenging, especially if the grandparents weren't there to say the items actually belonged to the suspect.
Yeah, it is still so difficult to go back and weave through everything that happened on the way to that terrible night at Club Q.
Yeah, you know, professors even talked about hindsight 2020, but it's definitely making people see, could something else have been done to prevent that tragedy?
Thanks, Kelly.